The lesson I want you to learn is it doesn't matter what you look like. You can be tall or short, or fat or thin, or ugly, or handsome, like your father. You can be black or yellow or white. It doesn't matter. What does matter is the size of your heart and the strength of your character.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome to yet another episode of What the Fuck Did I Just Watch? After our lovely theme music, which makes me feel like I'm doing a coming of age special, but it's awesome. Today, we're joined by Aaron England, who's the man behind Zombie Takeover TV and the reason why you're stuck seeing my face and hearing my voice on now 2 podcasts. So there you have it. You can be mad at him. And of course, John Paul Mantilla, my Huckleberry, who's, hanging in there with me. And we're going to discuss the Munsters, which is Aaron's pick. So I'm going to throw it to him to tell us why we had to watch the Munsters and what it meant to him.
You mean you get to watch? I don't know. It's one of those things where when I have nostalgia for this show, even though it aired 20 years before I watched it, it was just like Nickelodeon. I think it was Nick at Night. This was on Nick at Night, and I watched that a lot. I watched all that shit, like Petticoat Junction. Like, why the fuck would I watch that? And then TV Land came out, and I would watch that all day. I mean, summertime, they would play like Munsters blocks, just blocks of it, and blocks of the Addams Family. And that, I mean, it was just, it's fun. It's just a cartoon. There's nothing too serious about it. It's monsters, but fun. I don't know. It was, what's not to like about it, really? What do you guys think? Did you watch this growing up or what?
Yes and no. I was more Addams Family girl. And shockingly, this was actually, both series started before my time. They were came out in, I believe, 1964, sometime in the 60s. And they actually came out in the same year, and they were developed separately. So strangely, where it seems like one was probably trying to be a replica of the other, both those TV series actually happened apart. They were not like one came out and the other one ripped off of it.
I think,
I did watch the occasional Munsters episode that would just be syndicated on a whatever random TV channel when I was a kid. I just never got into it as much as I did the Addams Family.
I think I'm the same way. I've just, the reason I picked Munsters instead of the Addams Family is we did a podcast a while back where I did like an in-depth Addams Family thing and made Randy listen to me go down the rabbit hole he didn't know I was going to do it. It was like I read him a book report about the Addams Family. I was even talking about how Lurch had came out with some music, and we listened to that a little bit, and it's a whole thing. You can find it on the Strange Findings on our Bandcamp page. But so I wanted to check this out. There's not as much interesting stuff that I found on this. I like the cast a lot. Fred Gwynn is great, no matter what you're watching him in. If it's Car 54, if it's Pet Sematary. Yeah, I mean, he's great in everything you see him in, and anytime you see him, you're glad that he's there, And Yvonne, is that how you say that?
Yeah, it's Yvonne DiCarlo.
Carlo. I didn't put 2 and 2 together until I was doing the research for this, but she is in one of my favorite horror movies, American Gothic. As the mother character or whatever. That, if you've never seen that is an underrated film. I mean, everybody should watch that. It's from like 88 or something like that. But
wasn't there a TV series too that was American Gothic?
Yeah, I couldn't get into that, but the movie is so weird, and it's got just a great cast, and
Sarah LaRue, I believe, is in it.
Yeah. And Al Lewis is great in this too. I've liked him forever. He used to do Howard Stern a lot and do weird shit on there. But I think he during this time, when he was alive, he was revered as much as Betty White. Like if you saw Al Lewis on something, you're like, oh, it's fucking Al Lewis. That's great. He was always Grandpa. No matter what, he was just that character. But and Beverly Owens did great as Marilyn. We'll talk about it, but when they changed that character gets swapped around a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I decided, originally it was we'll watch the first and the last episode of the original series, which it surprised me how short it was, just 2 seasons, like maybe 60 episodes or so, something like that. And then we were going to watch Munsters Today, which I remember liking a lot. Do you remember that show at all when it came out?
I missed it when it came out. I caught like an episode or two on YouTube though, and honestly, it was a bad replica of the original.
Yeah, I don't know why.
I just didn't like the shorter, Herman. I didn't like the chemistry didn't seem to be there like it was for the original series, but I admire that they tried to do it. And I think it made it, 3 seasons?
Yeah, there was a lot of episodes. It was on Peacock or NBC.com or something. They just most recently took it down. But I remember liking it for whatever reason. But I also remember liking the reboot of Leave It to Beaver when that was on. And I'm sure that is bad. I'm sure that is very bad. But, you got Butch Patrick, who when I was growing up, this show he was in, and then one of my favorite movies at the time, The Phantom Toll Booth, he is the star of that also, and he's in Lidsville, which later on, when I was a teenager and experimenting in the world of psychedelics and stuff like that, Lidsville was crazy. I mean, just nuts. But well, we watched the first episode. What did you guys think about it? It's called Munster Masquerade. Originally aired September 24th, 1964. Did you enjoy this?
You want me to go? I'll go.
Yeah, John, but you haven't spoken much yet, so this is you.
I'll give you my book report of the Munsters.
Yeah.
So, like yourself, I watched it on Nick at Night, and I remember liking it, but now at a rewatch, not so much. I don't know. Like, I didn't laugh as much. I agree with you that I enjoy all of the actors in it. And Yvonne is in one of my favorite movies, which people are going to probably like. You actually like that movie? And I really do. The Ten Commandments. I actually love that. It's actually a really just...
Like Yul Brynner and Charlton Heston, Ten Commandments?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. If you watch, just for a film aspect, the way it's shot and some of the effects, it's an amazing epic.
Well,
and I really do enjoy it.
Didn't that win awards?
Yeah, it won several awards. And she's in it, and she's been in a lot of other stuff that I didn't realize.
Well, she was a huge screen actress.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, by this time,
a lot of westerns.
But even by 1964, I think that's what I said.
Yeah.
She was an older actress, so she had years and years of film work under her belt.
She was a year older than Al Lewis, actually, I believe.
Yeah. And unfortunately, she got stuck in the typecast world of you're going to be a cowgirl. She was in a lot of like westerns, and then later on, even before the Munsters, she was in a couple episodes of Gunsmoke and Bonanza and those kind of shows.
Bonanza. Let me tell you something about their treatment of women on that show. If you'll watch that, they don't make it out of many episodes. If there's a woman that appears in a Bonanza episode, she will probably die. She will either get shot, she will get attacked by a bear, she will catch a plague type disease, she will die. They kill them all. That show is insane.
Again, she actually survives 2 episodes.
Oh, really?
And again, I'm not. But
she dies, right? She does
eventually die. Yeah.
Okay.
Again, I'm not a fan of westerns, but I'm a fan of like film and just how stuff is done. So I do like a lot of her work. And Grandpa, God, I love Grandpa. I'll be honest, I love him more than Herman. Even though there are some things I'll say about Herman that just after watching enough episodes, it's the same thing over and over again.
Oh yeah, it's a
We're gonna-
cartoon. It's equally as entertaining as watching a Hanna-Barbera cartoon. And like I think a lot of the actors that are in this shit did that. They were doing everything back then. You know, it's the same people.
Right. And I was surprised to see Tim Conway in an episode, which was amazing.
Did you watch extra episodes, John Paul?
I did. I'm sorry.
Well, no, you don't have to apologize.
Because I kept saying to myself, okay, I really want to like this still.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't. There are things that I enjoyed, like Dragula is a badass car, and I love Rob Zombie, and the fact that he made that song was kick ass. The music, the intro is still fun. I even watched the unaired pilot that was in color that had a different Lillian Munster.
Yeah, I saw that. That was weird.
It was a Phoebe Munster at that time.
Yeah. I did not like that.
It's very weird. It's very weird to see the Munsters in color.
Don't like it. I don't like it. We'll talk about it when we get to that movie, because that movie. Oh my God. I'll tell you what, that movie.
Okay.
So, I'm sorry. I want to apologize to both of you.
Munsters Revenge?
Yeah. I remember liking what's Munsters Go Home or whatever.
That was one of the 66.
I think the reason that I like that is because it's the MacGuffin of the whole goddamn thing is that they're on a vacation or something, right? Is that what it is?
Right. He had inherited an estate.
Okay.
From his adoptive uncle or something, and that they went to England to go claim it.
That's your typical fish out of water kind of scenario, which is perfect for their show. But what they do in that revenge movie is fucking stupid. But we'll get to that in a little bit.
I couldn't get. I mean, I watched it and it felt like torture.
I did the same thing. I kept trying to watch more episodes so I could find out what it was that I really didn't like. And I think what it is more than anything is that the concept is kind of like a Flowers for Algernon concept, where they're basically making fun of the, special kid. The whole crux of it was always a joke on either Herman. Well, it was always a joke on Herman.
It was always a joke on Herman and Marilyn being
spoof of what Grandpa was messing up. And also, always picking on poor Marilyn for being the weird one in the family. I just, every episode had that thing.
Which that whole dynamic doesn't even work with the reboot. Like, because every character in that reboot is just a normal. They not only look normal, they're good-looking people. The worst-looking one of them is Eddie Izzard, and that dude just looks like they've aged him up a little bit. He's still
till he exsanguinates the character at the end, then he gets back down to
but we'll get to that. Let's get into this first little episode here. The Munster Masquerade. The summary for this is the Munsters are invited to a masquerade dance party. The funniest thing I read about the writers of this show is they are the same duo, Joe Conley and Bob Mosher. They did Major Payne. The only thing I saw on their IMDb that I was like, what the fuck, was Major Payne. I was like, all
David Wayne's Major Payne? Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay.
But the one thing I noticed that was crazy in this is that Marilyn's kind of one of the things that I think happens in every episode. You guys watched more than I did. Marilyn brings a boyfriend home or a new love interest, and that's like almost every episode thing. Mm-hmm. This guy in this one is conservatively 24 years old. Like, he's not a teenager at all, and his parents are in their 60s. It seems like it was just a bizarre age gap between the parents and this son, and it was really weird that these specific people were having a sort of masquerade party because they seem like stick in the mud type people. These pompous kind of characters.
Well, rich people, rich stuck-up people also have masquerade parties. They just have them at a higher level. Expensive costumes.
It reminded me of something that came out of Caddyshack.
Yeah.
The rich people are having their little thing, especially Caddyshack 2, which I'm a fan of, and I don't care what anybody says.
I like Caddyshack 2. I'm with you on that.
They invite the poor kids or the new kid over, and they have this whatever, and the masquerade, and again, like, the costumes are great. Just the jokes just fall
Oh
flat.
yeah, and you know it's all the same. It's all the same joke, really.
Yeah.
It's basically yeah. Well, the Munsters are always either they're supposed to represent like an ostracized group of, but they're I mean I don't know. They always pair them up with like the exact opposite, like stick
Well,
in the
it's
mud type
weird.
people.
I mean, that's the kind of thing. It's like, so if you think about it, the Munsters are also their own stick in the mud people. Like they're elitist in
Yeah.
their own way.
Oh, yeah.
In the sense that they think to them they're the norm, and which is why like they always pick on Marilyn because she's not like them, and everybody else is the strange people. You know what I mean? That they're the poor ones. They're like, look at how they look at how they act, look at how they have stuff. And then the opposite end, you have these rich people that also feel they're elitist and they're the normal. And so something freaky and strange like the Munsters is so it's basically a weird mirror if you think about it.
Right.
That part I found fascinating and annoying at the same time.
Well, one of the craziest things that I know I've seen enough episodes to know that the thing always happens where Marilyn brings a boy home and then he gets like scared off by the family. She should have enough awareness based on
figure that out by now,
on how she is ostracized by her own family for being ugly all the time, and then this happens time after time. She has to know. She should at least tell the dude that he might run into a fucking dragon, right? Like out of all the things that he might encounter in this house, the dragon is one that she should definitely let him know about. But I don't know. There's some sort of charm about this stuff for me. Like I said, Nick at Night must be it.
Nostalgia is a wonderful drug, as my wife has said to me many of times.
But I did get into they never give you a backstory on these guys.
No.
I think you're supposed to just be like, it's a monster family with one regular looking girl, and that's the catch of the whole show. But they kind
of do, like if you watched more than one episode sequentially,
right.
they talk a little bit about the past, they're from Transylvania.
Okay, that's fine.
That, Grandpa's supposed to be Dracula, basically.
Yeah, he's Grandpa Dracula.
They imply that Herman was actually that the grandpa had a part in creating Herman as well as other people.
Okay.
That Marilyn is supposed to be the daughter of a sister of Lily's, though they never bring her into it, and that sister basically abandoned Marilyn.
Oh, well, my questions were
the unaired pilot actually gives you a little bit more backstory to them. I think.
Does it ever explain how Lily's a vampire, right?
It never explains why they have a werewolf as a son.
Okay, that was my only question because I don't see.
Kind of assumed that maybe some of Herman's parts were werewolf parts.
I think that Lily had an affair with a werewolf gentleman in Transylvania, probably when she was going back to her dad's mansion or castle. It's not mansion, but either that or Eddie was possibly just a regular vampire, and then he drank water from a wolf's footprint, like they is that what they say?
Or maybe he's adopted.
Was that Hemlock Grove? Was that the whole
I don't know where I got that from. Maybe a Misfits song.
I think it's Hemlock Grove. They did that one where the girl drank from it.
I just they don't make shows like this anymore, so it was refreshing to see a living cartoon.
Maybe Lily was a wolf when she got impregnated.
Hey, there you
we
go.
can go into a whole bunch of crazy theories with this
one. I just know I didn't take too much stock in it. I didn't watch as much as you guys did, so I think you may have tortured yourselves a little bit with it
unnecessarily.
Yeah, like it was like if there was a candy dish there and it was shitty candy, and you're like, oh, it's still candy though.
It's still candy,
and then you guys are like, I'm gonna eat all the root beer barrels.
When it's that time of the month, you take what you can get, man. I mean, you need some candy. You just.
You guys were craving candy. You ate all the root beer barrels, and now you got a sour stomach. That's what happened.
Fair enough.
I do like that they made Marilyn in the first series. Well, in this first episode, a strong character, because later on in the movie, she is terrible. Like the woman who's playing her is terrible. They fucking. I will get to that later, but
let's go into that, man.
I just think that when this guy gets a little pushy with her, this date, she kind of lets him know like what's up, So, traditionally, I thought Herman always stepped in these instances and like but she kind of takes care of herself. So I don't know. That's cool. Regardless, I feel the same about both these episodes. The second one, or it's the last one. They don't let you. There's no big to do like it's the last episode. So I don't know if they.
The show got canceled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But because of Batman, that's what it was.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
I actually, like I said, I did the book report on the Munsters for you.
Yeah.
And yes, Batman was killing it in the ratings.
It's a better show.
And yeah, I agree 100%.
Yeah, I think both the Munsters and Addams Family were in the 20s for the rankings, so they both, I think, got canceled the same year as well. I might be wrong.
Yeah. I mean, the thing I mean, I have to say about this, like, if we really want to compare the Munsters and the Addams Family, my big takeaway that I had, I guess an issue is, and we'll go into it with all the different incarnations of the Munsters, is they're all the same.
Yeah, basically.
Unlike the Addams Family, because it was a comic, when they were done in different ways, people interpreted them in different ways. So the Munsters, you always had Dracula, Frankenstein, a vampire, and they didn't deviate much from it until the 13 Mockingbird Lane, which we'll go into it like we talked about. But it just even seemed in like these different movies, it's like, yes, they had the same actors, but I mean, like, even the new Eddie in the Munsters Revenge.
Oh my god!
Can we go into it? Let's go into it.
Okay. No, because I have some other stuff to talk about on the original series first.
All right, go for the original series.
I just wanted to mention that it's a completely different actress playing Marilyn. Pat Priest took over that role. And I believe
after 13 episodes,
I believe she is in the bulk of the series. So this episode also features from Petticoat Junction, Pat Woodell, who I believe died not too long ago, if I'm not mistaken. I think I read something about that. The main thing that caught me off guard is there's a different opening credits, and Eddie has a giant baseball bat. And you guys watched more episodes than I did. What's that? What's that mean? What's that for? Why is that? Does he play baseball? What's he do? I don't understand it.
It's like any show, I think, and like I said, I bounced around in episodes, but what I did notice, they would do a lot of things that were we're following this timeline and we're following this kind of story, and they just changed it around. And I think it was, hey, the ratings are bad, baseball's popular or whatever's popular. Let's try to incorporate that into the show. To see if we can grab an audience that way. And by doing it like midway through episodes or different things, it really messed, like, how do you get an audience? Right. How do you really support the show if they're going to change stuff up? I mean, I don't know if you guys noticed, Herman's makeup was also a bit different when you see it towards the end. It was cheaper. It was like almost like they said, yeah, you have bolts there, now we have plastic things on you. Even Grandpa's makeup started to look like, I'm like, this doesn't look right at all.
And the funny thing is, I read that they brought back that Fred Gwynn insisted that they brought back the makeup guys from the original series for that movie, that terrible movie we watched. And I'll tell you what, I think that the color aspect of things didn't come into he didn't think about that. Like, these guys are doing it for black and white, which is completely different. And I don't know how you could look at someone and tell, and like, they're clearly not completely covered with makeup properly. And it'd be like, well, let's just fucking shoot this thing, right? I mean, right. It doesn't make sense. But the one other thing I noticed in this episode, the last episode of the series, was that Herman comes in with a lunchbox, and I'm like, where the fuck's this dude work at? So I had to Google that shit.
Funeral parlor.
Funeral parlor.
He's a grave digger, evidently.
He is a grave digger. He's the best grave digger.
Yeah.
They actually, there's a whole episode about him talking about work and all this stuff. And it's an entertaining episode. It's actually one of my favorites. I can't think of the name of it right now. But it's really funny because he talks about how, he's the best of what he does,
Yeah.
and that people will rely on him to do what he does.
Mm.
And I love how it goes vague, and then they ask him, Herman, what do you do? So they find out and give you the answer in the episode because people asked, I guess.
I guess you got to.
Yeah.
I had to Google it. Okay, let's talk about this movie.
Okay.
Well, actually, since you brought up the lunchbox, you noticed that the first season he had a briefcase and it switched to a lunchbox.
Yeah.
They actually point out the fact that he had no need for a briefcase ever, and so that's probably why they eventually switched to the lunchbox.
You know, I like him better with the briefcase, though.
I think so.
It gives you like a, what the fuck's this monster need a briefcase for? What's in there?
But I also read that the whole intro was supposed to be a spoof on the Donna Reed show, because I guess that's how that show started, with her handing out lunches and stuff like that to the whole family. Is like, I never watched the Donna Reed show, so
which is probably what Married with Children is too. I mean, that's a similar sort of thing.
The sandwich.
It's money he's handing up.
Mm-hmm.
1981. They decided they wanted to dig these guys out again and do a movie. So the summary for this thing is when a wax museum owner attempts to frame the Munsters for pulling a jewelry heist, they must both prove their innocence and find out the true thieves. Oh, it's just it's so
sorry,
bad.
That was one of the things that bothered me in the first place. Like, so they made replicas of the Munsters, but in the movie they imply like that they didn't know that the Munsters even ever existed.
Right. They just
so was
happened.
It just supposed to be random?
Exactly. Hi, we're
stuff
Universal.
That happen to resemble exactly the Munsters.
Hi, we're Universal. We're gonna put our Munsters in this movie, and also have the original, Phantom of the Opera. I mean, let's talk about terrible makeup.
Oh yeah, let's talk about a terrible character. That guy, I wanted to throw him out of a fucking window.
But he sings.
The worst singer ever. I don't know. That guy, he should have, if they wanted to put him in there at all, put him in there during that party with all those other characters, and don't make him sing that much, because that shit is grating as fuck. It was terrible. The music on this thing was rough, and which was weird. It was Vic Mizzy, the guy from Addams Family, that did it. But I think he said it was a throwaway job. So, he's still staying true to his Addams Family roots there.
Now, I will give this movie credit for one thing and one thing only, and that's Sid Caesar.
He's the best part of it.
But
he's good in everything.
I mean, the every time I see him, because one of the last things I really remember seeing him in was Vegas Vacation.
Oh yeah,
when he plays the guy with the ticket. He's like, "Take that ticket," and all the weird voices that he does in this.
Oh yeah, and they gave him they electrocuted him, which gave him the perfect opportunity to do that Sid Caesar shit. He's just great, but even there was even a moment whenever they're they got all that gold shit, like he's got the necklace. You could almost see in his face, like, why would this dude want a necklace?
Yeah, I mean, he's the best part, and then I did like the scene where Herman and Grandpa were in the jail cell with the Jive guy.
That was good.
I laughed hard because Herman's just hungry and he wants his damn stew.
And the criminal's like, "You just go. We can leave."
I mean, that scene was just, I don't know. It was silly, it was dumb, and it was funny.
When Grandpa was yelling at Herman, anytime he was like, "Come on, you're stupid!" Like, it was like he was like yelling, like he basically could have said, "You're an idiot. Come on, we got to get out of here." Yeah. I like that stuff, but
he's holding the guns. I mean, but here's another thing. It's like, okay, so I understand that they had to recast Eddie, but
you know what, that kid
on that Eddie,
that kid, his name's Casey Martell. I looked him up. He is in several important films from my childhood. He's in the Amityville Horror. He's in E.T. He's in Whitewater Summer, which is an
Ooh, that's a good
underrated
one.
classic.
That's a good movie.
That is a great movie. Some great Kevin Bacon stuff there.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's not good in this. He sucks.
No, he sucks. The makeup sucks.
Marilyn sucks.
Yeah.
Marilyn is so terrible in this, and she delivers her lines flat. And then one of the saddest things about this movie is this whole wax museum that they go into is supposed to be horror, right? So like they've developed a cave girl. The only reason they did that was so later on in the movie they could put her in that outfit, because there's no other reason why there would be a cave girl in a horror wax museum section or whatever. But regardless,
okay, so this is my random pet peeve about it. It was clearly supposed to be 1981, so it was supposed to be 20 years later, right? So why couldn't they have done like an older Eddie? Like, why would he have to still be a child? Why would Marilyn still have to be a teenager?
Why
couldn't they have brought adult
why wouldn't Eddie show up in a cameo? That's what got me.
He was there. He was in a band. He had Eddie and the Monsters or something like that. And they were playing right down the street because they were filming right there in California, right? Like right on the main drag and shit. He walked down and talked to Fred Gwynn and Al and said, I better get out of here before they think I'm part of this or what, big Munsters reunion.
That made no sense.
He was also a bad alcoholic at this time.
Okay, I guess.
So yeah, I actually messaged him a while back and tried to get him to like do a podcast, just because this is the dude from Phantom Tollbooth. Like, he's got one of the like most recognizable child voices. I don't know what he sounds like now, but
right.
Like from a lot of stuff from when I was a kid, but yeah, he told me he was, dealing with some related health issues, but he had been clean for a while. I talked to him for a little bit, but yeah, never got back with him because he needed time or what. I'm not gonna be up a dude's ass all the time. I'm gonna ask him once and then move on. Like whatever. But
and our surprise guest,
yeah, what a thing that would be. No, there was some stuff I liked. The Igor character, when they go to Transylvania, reminded me of Eddie Pepitone. Do you know who Eddie Pepitone is? It just looked like him. But ultimately, this isn't what I want to see the Munsters do if I'm watching them. I don't want to see them solve a caper, and the Phantom of the Opera should have been removed.
But he sings.
God damn it. So terrible.
I will tell you this. In 1996, Fox put on a special that was a backdoor pilot for a new Munsters show.
Oh, yeah.
And they had cameos from all the remaining Munsters that were alive back then.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I found the trailer of it actually on YouTube, and I'm like, holy cow. There's this scene, literally, Grandpa and Lily and Eddie are all sitting at this Italian restaurant being served pasta by the new Grandpa.
I wonder if it was actually Al Lewis's restaurant because he opened one.
But what is it? The guy who played he was on Seinfeld. Why can't I find it? It just escaped my mind. The guy who
Patrick Warburton?
No.
Well, I don't know.
No,
Jason Alexander.
Okay, when I don't know how well you guys know
Kramer?
Seinfeld. No, when Seinfeld goes visits his parents, and his parents he buys his dad a Cadillac.
Okay.
And there's the guy who puts up the nick against him and tries to get him kicked off the board. I don't know.
Wow, that is a deep cut Seinfeld
I know
reference.
it's a deep.
Yeah, I
know.
did not watch that much Seinfeld.
I know Seinfeld, but that actor played the new Grandpa, and he was great. And the makeup was great, and it was in color. I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah. But I think the best thing about this whole movie is the sound that Grandpa makes when he turns into a bat. I don't know if that's something they do in the series, but it sounds painful. It's hilarious. Yeah. But
during the crazy car chase.
Yeah. Now let's go ahead and go to.
One random bit of trivia.
Yeah.
So I'm a cars person. My father is actually a mechanic, so I grew up around classic cars and stuff like that. So I found like the whole story about the build of Dragula fascinating.
Oh yeah.
And so I had wrote down. So Tom Daniels, he was working for Barris Customs Industry, George Barris, who made a lot of amazing custom cars that came out of that. Actually, they did both the cars, the coach and Dragula. They used a real casket for Dragula. But they had like this terrible time actually being able to buy a casket because nobody would sell them a casket just to have a casket. Like they wanted a dead body to put in it. So there was a broken one that was like kind of scratched, dented or whatever that they were trying to negotiate for. And basically George Barris, he just basically took the parlor owner aside and was like, talking with him, and some of his crewmen like absconded with the casket and just left like the amount of money behind that a casket would cost. And that's how
that's awesome. So they stole the casket.
The tale I found. Well, they didn't steal it because they left money for it. So technically,
okay, you're right.
They forcibly bought it, I guess, maybe.
I mean, yeah.
So I found that, and it had like a Ford Mustang engine in it, by the way, just, FYI.
That's pretty cool. I wonder if that's still like around, like,
I thought I read somewhere that it was, and I think at some point, the guy who played Eddie Munster had it, but I might be wrong.
Really? Well, you think that would pop up, like, sometimes, they'll bring the Batmobile around or whatever, like,
I'm sure Universal has.
Which, by the way, the Batmobile also made by Barris Customs.
Oh, yeah.
Just FYI on it too, sir.
Yeah, it's got a similar kind of feel to it. I don't know. You can kind of tell they came from the same people. Yeah. But yeah.
Sorry, please go ahead.
Let's go ahead, and since we couldn't watch it, let's watch a little tiny clip of what's that? Munsters Today.
Munsters Today.
Yeah. So let me pull that up. Hold on just a second. Okay. Let's see. Here we go. Munsters Today. Let's just randomly go here. Oh God, it's small. Shit. Should have prepared this. Here we go.
Lily, Marilyn will do almost anything for Dustin, and you won't even play chess with me.
Oh, Herman, why do you want to play chess with me? I've won 106 games in a row.
105.
106. Let's forget chess. Oh, I have an idea. How would you answer this question? What is your idea of a dream date?
Oh, well, I'd get myself all dolled up, catch an early funeral, and stop by the video store and pick up Friday the 13th.
We've already seen Friday the 13th.
I know. I'd play it for Eddie while you and I go upstairs.
Okay. Well, what do you think? Did we miss anything?
I mean, I remember watching a couple episodes on USA when it was airing, but I again, and then I went and looked at some of the clips on YouTube, and I thought, I think me now can't watch it because I have a problem with laugh tracks.
That is almost an offensive laugh track.
Yeah, I mean,
I like the guy that's playing Herman. I don't know what his name is, but I've seen him in other stuff.
He's been in a lot of other stuff.
But I didn't like him as Herman. It just didn't hold up well. And I don't think it's because he was a bad actor or anything.
No, it was like a great value version of the Munsters.
But again, it's kind of like what I said earlier, where it's like, unlike the Addams Family, that you can change their looks. This, it's like Herman has to be, a version of Frankenstein, because people will get upset if it doesn't look like. And then especially in this case, because this was the supposed direct sequel of the original show, they got locked in in coffins, and then they wake up in the future.
Right.
And that's, the Munsters today.
I think, when I look back at some of these shows, I think a lot of it is like back when this was on TV, I had 5 channels and 2 of those were PBS. So like,
Limited choices. You're going to pick the best of a lot. Yeah.
you get yourself a Friday the 13th, the TV series. I know it doesn't hold up. I bought all of them. I have them all on DVD.
We did a whole episode on it.
Oh, I know. I produced that, remember? But that like when you have 5 channels, that shit's awesome. Not as good as Tales from the Dark Side when that shit would pop up.
Oh, that's the greatest show ever.
That show holds up like nobody's business. I still think that stuff's great. And Monsters, if you ever caught that back in the day.
I love that show. I have a bootleg copy of it.
It's good. You can watch that on Amazon Prime, I believe.
I found out after I bought the bootleg that it's on Amazon Prime.
It's really good though. Speaking of really good, 2012, they did a hell of a great job on a reboot for this show that would have worked. I really think it would have been a hit. This would have been bigger than Buffy, I think, if they would have done it and continued up with this quality of an episode every time. But essentially, they've just taken the thing. It's Bryan Singer, who's a big time director. He wrote this and directed it. It's, he did Usual Suspects, Bohemian Rhapsody, tons of stuff, a lot of X-Men stuff.
Has a problem with children, but
Oh, does he? They all fucking do. They always got some goddamn stupid, terrible thing about him.
Him and Kevin Spacey had the ring of children.
God damn it.
Yeah, I'm sorry to bust the bubble there.
I can't enjoy anything. And you know who started the whole damn thing was Jeffrey Jones. It was like once he was the first. It was that person,
mustache man, I'm telling you.
He was the first one that popped out for me. I was like, "Fuck, Jeffrey Jones." And then when Cosby was a fucking right in my heart. I had all his stand up. I could almost recite that that one special. What was it? Himself or whatever? What is it?
I think so. Bill Cosby himself, where he does the whole chocolate cake bit and the dentist bit and Jeffrey on the plane bit.
Yeah. And then now he's terrible and I can't enjoy any of the stuff. I liked everything he did, like all the shows, everything. And then
Picture pages.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking. I don't mean to make light of it. And he did so many wonderful things, and then the whole time he was a fucking serial rapist.
Yeah.
Fucking wonderful. Yeah.
He even mentored people. Like there's people that I've heard on podcasts that are like, yeah, he would call me and give me advice and stuff. And then he turns out to be this person. Fuck. But anyways, I guess Bryan Singer's terrible, so don't.
Yeah, sorry. He actually got fired from Bohemian Rhapsody.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
See, there's too much to know. There's not enough. How can you know everything? Jerry O'Connell, he's still cool?
He's good.
Okay.
He's good. Rebecca Romaine, still good.
Jerry O'Connell plays Herman. Everybody knows who he is. Stand By Me, My Secret Identity, Sliders. Portia de Rossi, she plays Lily Munster. She's on Arrested Development.
Married to Ellen.
Scandal.
She's Ellen's wife.
Yeah. I didn't want to identify her in that way, but I'm trying to make her own person, not just attached onto. She's also in Lost, right? Is that right? Or am I thinking of somebody else? I haven't seen Lost. Yeah. Anyways, I'm uninformed. Charity Wakefield plays Marilyn Munster. I've literally never seen anything that's on her IMDb, but she's evidently in some series called The Great. Was that from not too long ago?
Yeah, that's actually a really good show.
It appears she does a lot of.
It's about Catherine the Great.
It appears she does a lot of period pieces, big dresses, a lot of pomp, all that shit. You got Mason Cook as Eddie Munster. Evidently, he's been doing really well on Speechless. I've tried to watch that, couldn't get into it.
I liked it.
Yeah. Eddie Izzard as Grandpa, one of the best stand-up comedians ever, I think.
Kate
And an
Burdett.
awesome actor. I don't know if
Yeah.
you've ever seen the series The Riches, but it was intense.
I've seen
I
a little
love
bit of
that show.
You know what I the best thing about Eddie Izzard is he is like have you seen his shit about his running?
Is he still a he? Because wasn't he
Uh,
transitioning?
I don't know if he's transitioning.
And I don't want to be
I knew
disrespectful about that.
I remember.
He was a transvestite, but I think he
Yeah.
decided that he was a transsexual and should be a she.
Oh,
But
really?
I don't know if he is
Oh,
cross-identified or not yet. So my apologies if it's a she now.
yeah, whichever way
If they're a she now.
whichever way they
Very
want to go.
perfect,
Yeah.
The running, like just miles and miles, like marathon running. It's crazy. He had a whole, or she, they. I'm bad at that.
We'll go with they.
It's so hard to hit it. But they had a whole like documentary about it. I think. I'm not sure. And then John Kassir, is that how you say his name? He appears in this, the Crypt Keeper.
Yeah.
He
Who
was
I
in,
love.
He
I
was in,
love that guy.
He was in
Reefer Madness.
Yep, that's the one. I just like this a lot. I love that they've made Eddie an actual werewolf that does werewolf shit, like kill people. That makes sense. The thing that bugs me the most is I read that one of the executives said that this show didn't hold together enough to work well as a series. What doesn't work? Everything's great. I mean,
yeah, I even like how they gave a better explanation for the oddity of Marilyn. It wasn't her look so much as the fact that she was a human and not supernatural. That was offensive to Grandpa, but not to the rest of the family so much.
Which they all
reason
look.
What happened with the mother was the mother tried to eat her, and that's why they took Marilyn away from her.
I think the music is everything's well done, from the music, the special effects, but the dude that did the music is worked with Hans Zimmer and Elmer Bernstein and shit. Like, it's very impressive when you look at his IMDb. His name's Jim Dooley. It's just rich. I don't know.
This show also was done with Brian Fuller, who did the Hannibal TV show.
Is he a sexual predator?
He's okay.
Okay.
So
I'm gonna check him.
Discovered yet.
Fuller's okay. He's actually also currently developing the Child's Play TV show on Sci-Fi that's coming out in the fall. But yeah, the first time I watched this, because I remember watching it when it came out. Actually, Randy was my roommate, and I said to him, I said, "Hey, there's a new show coming on NBC at 10 o'clock on Friday night." He's like, "But I want to go drink it." I'm like, "All right, but after this show."
Well, yeah, I remember this came out and it was on. We had just got Hulu or whatever, and so I watched this and I kept waiting on another episode. Like, I kept checking in. At that time, I was watching Face Off all the time, so I was like, I would watch Face Off every night and check in every night to see if they put another episode of this. It was crazy. But they didn't.
The DVD that actually came out for this years ago has like partial parts of the second episode. Like they had filmed some of it and they didn't actually finish it. So as an extra, they show scenes from it. It holds up. I mean, and it's supposed to be, unlike the original, which was like you said, a cartoon. This was going to be like an ongoing, funny-ish, but more serious.
Like Harry Potter level.
I'm not a fan of Harry Potter, but sure.
I'm just saying, like, quality-wise.
Yeah.
The dragon, like, there's a dragon at the end of this shit that looks like it could have been in one of them fucking Harry Potter movies. So, and Herman's heart repair, when they open up Herman.
That was so cool.
I love that, where they really made it a Frankenstein monster and they really had, like, Grandpa Bean,
Yeah, and he even said, what did he say? Something about, he like points to his heart and he's like, that's how I know who I am when I'm made of so many different people, or something like that. Like, the writing was really good. I mean,
it's a great show, and it's sad that it just got through and they pushed the pilot and that was it.
I've never been more bummed out that a series didn't happen in my life. I think I mean, I was months doing this, like, did they do it, did they pick it up, where's it at? Nothing, just fuck. It would have been one of the best shows.
I don't disagree with you. And like I said, it reminds me of like how the same, like I said, same people did the Hannibal TV show, and that apparently worked because people love, crime dramas, or as I'd like to say, murder shows.
It just bothers the fuck out of me because every show these days, people will go, hey, get to episode 3, get to episode 4, and it really starts to get good. This fucking thing jumps out of the gate, is awesome, and there's nothing else.
Totally agree with you.
I won't watch a show if you tell me I have to get to episode 4 before it gets good. Because my whole opinion is, why can't I just jump to fucking 4 where it's good? Why am I watching bullshit? That's like reading fucking I don't know. It's just crazy. It's crazy to me that this show didn't happen. And it's going to bother me until I am dead.
No, I'm with you. It was like the special effects were just amazing.
Yeah, I just remember every month when there wasn't a second episode, because there was another show that Hulu did. I was coming right off of a show called Quick Draw, which, if you've never seen it, go to Hulu and watch it. It's the funniest improvised Western comedy show you'll ever see in your life. And they didn't fucking continue that either. And that was another one I kept checking in. Nothing. I'm like, come on, man. There's only so much Perfect Strangers a dude can watch. Like, I'm not into like all the big drama shows that everybody watches. I've never seen an episode. I've tried to watch Game of Thrones, hated it. Tried to watch Walking Dead, didn't like it. I've tried to watch so many of these shows that everybody fucking loves, and I don't like them. And then I always revert back to watching dumb shit, like old sitcoms. Family Matters. I was laughing at Family Matters the other day. I mean, that's where I'm at. I'm in the past. So
see, no, similar to you, like I also could give a shit about The Walking Dead. It did not engage me, nor did Game of Thrones. But I don't usually revert back to like really old stuff. I tend to find weirder shit that nobody else watches or likes. Yeah. But just for clarity, I did look up, because I don't like, representing people as they don't like to present. So Izzard is gender fluid, and they call themselves he or she depending on, or themselves or they, depending on what mode they're in. So if they're presenting as a male, they're okay with he as their pronoun. If they're presenting as female, then they prefer she. If you're not sure, they. So
yeah. Man, I'm so bad at that stuff. I try so hard. But to use the word they for one person makes me stumble over my words so bad. But I keep trying. I'm going to get it one of these fucking days. I'm going to get it. And then I won't worry about it anymore. But, it's the other, like earlier last year, a guy I knew and still know, revealed to me that they were transgender, and I was doing it right. I was saying, what's up, man, or whatever. And then found out it was female to male. So I was correct, but never would have known, never would have questioned it. Never. And it doesn't matter. But I could have stumbled over some weird shit and not even known it, and been embarrassed and stuff. But I'm not saying weird things. It's just, you know what I'm saying?
Situationally,
it can get tricky.
Gone the wrong way.
For an awkward as fuck motherfucker like me, yeah, it's rough sometimes, because you can't tell. Yeah, I'm an idiot, so just bad things happen to me. Anyways,
if somebody tells me, what their pronouns are, what their preferences are, or if I see an article or something, I'm okay. Yeah. I never think to ask in advance, and that's right. I don't go with either. What they appear to look like to me, and that's kind of a problem. But then I'm also torn. Like, is it ruder to ask or ruder to? I don't know. I'm working on it. I'll figure it out.
I'll tell you the exact conversation I had that landed me in discovering this information. Was he had said. Now this is how stupid I am, said, I'm going to get top surgery. Now I thought, since I've known this person as a man the whole time that I've known them, and I knew they were gay in some way because there was their partner was a transgender person for sure, and I knew that and I respected that. But then I was like, oh well, he's transitioning into a female, and I said, oh, this is a friend of mine. So I said, oh, you getting some jugs or something like stupid and off color, but like, we're friendly, so it's not like a weird thing. And then he said, no, getting them removed. And I'm like, it fucked me up. And I was like, oh my God, I never would have known. And he's like, yeah, nobody does. I want it that way. And I'm
At least you didn't ask to see his titties, because I've heard people have done that.
Oh no. I was like, oh, well, I hope it goes well for you and all that stuff. Cause and then they opened up and told me like, the struggles with the hormones and stuff they were dealing with. And it was like an interesting thing to have a perspective on, because I had none at all prior to that. Anyways, the Munsters, it was fun, right?
You never know where our show's going to go.
Our show gets so serious at random times. So yeah.
Well,
but yeah, so the Munsters and Izzard and
yeah.
O'Connell. Yeah, no, I agree with you guys. I'm super sad that 1313 Mockingbird Lane did not become a thing, and I really wish it would. Or they might still do it. That'd be great,
Yeah. I think is Jerry O'Connell working on something right now? It seems like he's been
working on and off. Like he's done so many like pilots of shows. If you look at his IMDb, like one season of this.
Yeah, it's like now, John Stamos.
I mean, I did recently hear he wants to do a Sliders revival.
Wow.
So I'm back.
The Veronica Mars reboot too, or am I thinking incorrectly?
I can't remember.
I might be confusing him with another actor. I do that.
I mean,
maybe his brother.
Yeah. but again, I mean, if you bring back Sliders, I don't know.
I don't think I liked Sliders. I liked My Secret Identity a lot.
I was a fan of Sliders.
I did watch Sliders, like when I was like if it was on when I was like able to watch it, I would. I didn't like watch it like serially, though. You know how people like make the point of watching it every week that it's on. It just be if I happen to be.
Well, it moved networks several times, which was a pain in the ass about getting into that show. And now in the advent of streaming services, I forget who has it, but you can watch them all, and they're good. But when Jerry O'Connell leaves, it's just like it's weird because his brother takes his place playing the same character, and I'm like, yeah, but this makes no sense now.
Wow.
It's like Joey Lawrence and all his brothers, people think they're all the same person. And I'm like,
what was that show where it was like just the Lawrence brothers? What was that show called?
I forget.
Brotherly Love or something?
Brotherly Love or something like that. Yeah. But it's hilarious because I remember Joey Lawrence from Give Me a Break.
Yeah.
He was the little kid from Give Me a Break. So I grew up watching it, and then you see his brothers and you're like, oh. And then his other brother was on Boy Meets World, which I love.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one. Didn't do so well with that reboot of that one, did they?
I still enjoyed it.
Did you? Well, you like the you said you like that Punky Brewster reboot, right?
I do. I don't know why. It's written for me, I guess.
Everybody who I've heard say they like it says that exact phrase. I like it. I don't know why. I don't know, man.
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. But I couldn't get into that Saved by the Bell though. I tried that. That's not for me. It's too CW, too.
See, that's the thing. It starts off CW, but then it becomes too meta, and that was my problem with it because it's like, hey, audience, we know you watched this episode, so we're gonna tell you it again, and I'm just like, really? No, come on, do something new. Don't talk to me. You're not Deadpool.
Well, no. Zach Morris always had the ability to stop and talk to the.
Yes, Zach Morris did, but not everybody else.
His son would have those same powers, I think.
But again, I have no problem. It was the son, but it was the son. It was the friend. It was
everybody can't have.
It was
Zach
everybody,
Morris.
right?
It's got to be in the
everybody
bloodline.
Can't have time out because that's my magical power I wanted as a kid. I wanted time out.
Can't have everything.
That or read people's minds. That would be fun too.
I don't want that. That would be a nightmare.
No.
My God, to know what everybody's thinking about you all the time. What an anxiety.
I can turn that on and off. I would like to turn that on and off, but that's just me.
Ugh, no, I don't want.
So
that
the Munsters.
Yeah, the Munsters.
All right.
So overall, I think I had a better time than you guys.
Yeah. I mean,
Aaron, you're not allowed to pick the show again, by the way.
Next
we'll have
time,
you back, but we're gonna make you watch something.
Next time you pick it, I'll tell you what. I'm glad that those episodes weren't available because I was cramming to get this stuff in. I literally watched the last of the movie right up until the very end, and then Zoom got fucking weird, and then I was late anyways. So yeah, but thanks for having me on. If I can, check out the Last Roundup Horror Show. That's
plug away.
That's the one that
no,
that's
don't
the
plug
one.
your shows, even though you produce ours.
That's,
Please don't.
that's the one. That's the one that I'm on the most, I think. When I do
You got some good stuff coming up in the club.
Oh yeah, we're doing Pumpkinhead coming up, and actually the next one we're doing is Burial Ground, I believe. I've never seen that, but
you're gonna enjoy it.
I hope so.
As I nod and shake my,
you're gonna enjoy it.
I'm kind of concerned about it. It seems like some people really like it, and other people completely hate it. Yeah, have fun with it. And you could say either one, John Paul. I wouldn't know what to glean from that because some stuff that you like a lot, I do not like, and
I know.
Like we've talked about it, Kabuki Man. I hate it.
I know.
I think it's the dumbest fucking thing Troma's ever done, and I like everything that Troma does almost. So
except that one that you really like.
Except when No,
he likes plenty that I like. I'm sure.
I know you and I like a lot of the same things, and torturing Randy is one of them.
yeah. I mean, I can sit in on almost any schlockfest and be like totally fine with whatever he picks, but there's been a couple that I would like. You know what? I'm on board with you with Spice World. I think that's a fun movie.
It is a blast,
and I remember watching that on HBO because they played it all the time. It was like there was no way to not watch it. It was it was on at some point. And it had Meatloaf in it, right? Was he the bus driver?
Yeah.
Am I thinking right?
That's exactly it.
That was another movie that was like a cartoon. It was just weird. And
that would have been a great Scooby-Doo mashup.
Yeah. And I don't know who came up with that idea, but it was definitely someone who had a funny idea, and then we're like, well, we can get the Spice Girls to be. They would just clearly be in this. I mean, why wouldn't they? And then they would. You could put any celebrity like that in there.
It's similar to the Josie and the Pussycats movie. If you ever saw that,
I've heard it's good. Ooh, Tara Reid. Oh,
yeah, it's Tara Reid, Rosario Dawson, and Rachel Lee Cook.
Seems like one of those things is not like the other. I mean, Tara Reid back in that age, in that time period, I guess she was.
Yeah, it was pre Sharknado.
That's my favorite thing she's done, to be honest with you.
I still like American Pie.
What's that?
Said not Van Wilder.
That one doesn't hold up as well. I don't know. What are your thoughts on Van Wilder 2021?
I haven't watched it since
they put dog cum.
Saw it.
They put dog cum in those donuts. Does that hold up to the millennial standard?
I found some parts of it humorous, but in general, that's not quite my thing.
Ryan Reynolds, his line delivery is really good there.
I'm in love with Ryan Reynolds. I'll freely admit it. You can even clip this soundbite. I love Ryan Reynolds.
That movie is what got him every comedic job he's ever had. I mean,
definitely launched him.
He wanted to be Fletch, and unfortunately, he's never been Fletch.
He is like a modern day Chevy Chase, though.
He is.
And the thing what got him Deadpool was Van Wilder, and then he got cut as fuck and did that Amityville horror movie, and then they're like.
Right, the
Deadpool,
reboot, which is great. Talk about a good reboot. Yeah,
that is. I think I might like that more than the original, honestly. If I'm being honest about it, I mean, I liked that movie a lot, but they really smashed it into the ground with all those sequels.
I just recently obtained a box set of all the sequels, so
oh boy,
I'll be watching all of them.
you know what one you should do for Schlockfest?
That's my goal.
You should do the Dollhouse one.
I was just about to say that. I was just about to say
it's so bizarre.
I haven't watched it in a while, and so I'm half tempted to go. This might be in Schlockfest soon.
I remember I went on a tear and watched like all of those, and that's the one that stood out the most. And if I remember right, doesn't the Dollhouse blow up?
Yep.
Inside of another house.
Yep.
I believe so. Yeah, it's been a long time since I've seen it too, but I do recall the dollhouse blew up, and I think it was inside of another house.
Yeah, I just couldn't believe they made so many.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I mean,
so when I got this box set, it was at a yard sale.
Oh yeah, is it? It's DVDs or Blu-rays?
It's DVDs. I paid $5.
Can't beat it. I would have done it too. Mm-hmm.
So I scanned it and I uploaded it to my drive so I could watch them in luxury of my own home. I mean, they even had a Blu-ray copy because the guy's like, just take them all of the remake, and I'm like, cool.
I love it when people discard physical media. I love it.
Oh, I love physical media. So,
yeah.
I mean, granted, like I said, I scan everything, I put it on my drive, so now I have both.
Right. I just think it's funny how people will just disregard, I don't know, expensive VHS tapes they'll throw away. But anyways, we should probably wrap up, right, guys?
Yeah,
I mean, I guess we probably bored everybody to death with our rambling stuff.
Well,
I mean, you could just hit stop recording and we could just chat for a little bit. as I'm fighting with I got soreness in my arm. I got my second shot today.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Did it get up into your neck yet?
No.
Okay, it'll get there.
But where's my limb? Where's my limb I'm supposed to get? I'm supposed to get a new limb.
I wanted a tail. I still don't got one. I'm kind of pissed.
Or I don't got 5G on my phone. Why I don't get no 5G on my phone?
I have seen. I work at a pharmacy, and I have seen two people read the warnings on these, waivers, and have to have EMTs come because
serious?
They have panic attacks.
Oh wow!
I assume that they also are QAnon people, but I don't know. It seems like, because everything you get, every vaccination you get, every drug you take, I mean,
serious warnings on it. Yeah.
Half the commercials that have people dancing around with butterflies and shit, there's a warning about leaky anal discharge. You may have a stroke, increase of heart failure.
Anal leakage.
Anything. There's a million things with every drug.
Read any of the warnings associated with the birth control pill? I mean, I would assume you haven't, unless you were reading your significant others or your partner's
she never
stuff. But I mean, blood clots, heart attacks. I mean,
yeah, I'm sure she had the IUD, which had its own, I'm sure its own list of things.
Could get absorbed by your uterus. It could poison you.
It could go sideways. But that's everything. You got to decide for yourself. Even with a simple flu shot, if you read the fucking thing, it tells you all the things that could happen to you. Even if you take a Tylenol, there's a list of things that you got to be able to discern the severity of those things and the likelihood. But this guy
just wants my Rona horn.
He was laying down on the floor, laying down, looking up, talking to people, and the EMTs came, and he's like, "I don't need you. I don't need you." And they left with their stretcher, which had to piss them off. I would be irritated. Like, the guy doesn't need me. We're here. They called us.
Do you get charged for that if they come and you don't want
somebody them? Does. I don't know. The pharmacist called them, so I don't know who would get charged for that. But
it's probably the pharmacist.
Yeah,
your store probably.
Well, they can eat that cost, I suppose. It's probably their policy if they think somebody's going to have a situation,
right?
But it's just a panic attack, and I don't know, from reading the warnings. Anyways, calm down, everybody. Shit, God damn. We got to do something, right? Something has to happen. It's not like
Yeah, the alternative is getting
Vaccinate,
COVID
wear
in
your
time.
mask, stay distant. We'll get through it. But if you keep being in that mess and do none of these things.
Fuck, around here they don't masks. You're like in the minority. Like I go into a gas station wearing a mask. I feel like they're looking at me side-eyed shit because none of them are in and I just want to get my energy drink and get the fuck out, and not even the clerk, is wearing a mask. They've got one, but they're not wearing it.
I'm sure they do.
That's why the case count hasn't gone. It keeps,
Yeah. Didn't you guys just hit purple again down there?
We hit purple.
Jesus.
Purple,
neither one of you guys
Columbus.
have caught it, right?
So far, not that I'm aware of.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I haven't either. So, but I've been wearing a mask, and I traditionally always stay the fuck away from people.
Yeah,
so,
social distancing has never been a problem for me. I'm like, there's a person, I'm going to be over here.
if you get too close to me, I will let you know. You need to back up. I'm not a hugger. I don't want to play fun games where you touch me. I don't like it.
So when I get to meet you face to face, big old
I'll be honest.
So be wary.
I'll be honest. I won't appreciate it. I'll feel very uncomfortable. I like you, John Paul. I'll say hi. I'll give you one of these. I'll give you like a little hi. But I've never even liked handshakes. I always have thought that's fucking weird. Because I don't know what's on his hand.
Yeah,
he could have just went to the bathroom. But also, there's always this dynamic. I don't know, Jenny, if you've ever experienced this before, because I don't know if females do this or men do it to females, but this hand squeezing fucking thing, you got to have a strong handshake. Dude, I don't want to touch.
I've never had a woman do that to me. Some men who are trying to like act like they're tough or some shit will do that kind of stuff. And I'm like,
I don't get it.
What
are you fucking trying to prove? I don't want to touch your hand at all. So of course I'm not going to get more of it. I don't want to fucking do it. So it's always going to be like, hey, yeah, fine.
I'm a dick. They do that. I shouldn't kick just to be an asshole. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. Reflex.
I mean, your buddy Derek Collins, when I first met him, he did the handshake and move it down to his junk. And I'm like, whoa.
That's he's a problematic character. Yeah, he's problematic. But yeah, I've never liked that. So I was looking forward to that going away. And then everybody wanted to try to do this elbow shit. Fuck you. I will not do that. I will not do that. I don't need to touch you. That's the thing. I have a wife that is the only person, aside from my kids, that is allowed to touch me with permission. It's a thing. I mean, come on.
Consent's a good thing.
Christ. That's what everybody's talking about. And everybody still you need my consent for a fucking handshake, right? I want that for future reference because I don't want to just be a part of it. I would never introduce that concept into the situation. Why do you have to do it? I'm glad to meet you. I hope you're healthy. I hope your family does well and you're prosperous. I don't want to fucking touch you. That's it. Anyways, we can wrap it up, guys.
We're having fun time. Anyway, so thanks for watching. You can catch Aaron on the last horror roundup show or the last roundup horror show. Sorry, dyslexia. John Paul has Schlockfest. Are you doing a new episode anytime soon?
Yes, next month. For the month of May, we are doing Robo Ninja.
Wow. So what year is that from? Is that a newer movie or an older movie?
No, I mean,
I feel like that's a 90s movie. Am I wrong about that?
Yeah, it's 1989. It's got Burt Ward of Batman and Robin. So there you go.
I don't know why.
It's on Tubi. If anybody wants to try it out on Tubi,
Yeah, we'll see. I'm not going to try it out. Sounds rough. Plus, I've got 5 or 6 other movies I got to watch.
It's only 85 minutes long. Come on.
Oh, that's a good time, though. I like that. I like that time.
Exactly.
Even if it's bad, it's just a short, bad time.
Exactly. I'm not torturing with any musicals anytime soon. But there are some.
You're going to push him to the edge with some of these things. I've seen his...
Hey, Can't Stop the Music. One of the greatest things I have made him do.
So you'll see that in May. I've got a Girls Go Schools podcast coming up. We're doing Psycho. It'll probably be released sometime between now and May. And May, well, actually before May, like the end of this month, we'll be recording another What the Fuck Did I Just Watch with Mike Eichelman, where we look at Lex and Happy, 2 series that were featured on Sci-Fi. One was created by the Sci-Fi Channel. The other one was just featured on it. And that's pretty much training our brains to mush. So that'll be a fun episode to watch. much.
Yeah.
And yeah, with that, thanks for watching and have a great, safe life.
Stay away from people.
That's right. Stay away from me.
Don't fucking touch Aaron.